not
Okay.
loud noises.
Looks like we're good. All right, so Chamali, take it away. Tell us what you're reviewing.
Cool. So this is Nobody Saves the World. It's developed by Drinkbox Studios. It just came out actually like 2 weeks ago, January 18th. Played it on PC Game Pass. It's on there for free. It's also on Xbox Game Pass. It's also available on Steam and the Xbox. Nobody Saves the World is if you ever played the games Guacamelee,
yes,
same developer.
Great game.
Oh, excellent.
Is. So
That's cool. It's been a while for them, I feel like, since they had a hit.
yeah. No, this game's actually really fun. It's people compared it to Zelda games. I don't see it as much.
I love those.
I don't have that feeling as much, but it has that. I guess it's more of just like an overall like the top down action-y feeling, and it's constantly rewarding you.
I might call it like a fusion of a Zelda and a Diablo.
Looks like Four Swords a little.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the game is constantly rewarding you, which is awesome. You're always getting that rush of like what is it called?
Dopamine.
Yeah. Because as you see in here, like you have a whole bunch of different forms. You start off with a couple, and then you start unlocking them, and you get all these abilities. And you can level everything up. Each class or form is like feels like completely different, which is awesome. Like I'm going around as the ghost here, and it's just like the ghost is kind of like you don't do anything. He just sits there, and you have to hit everything with that like circle because he's a ghost.
You're just haunting everyone.
Yeah, you're haunting everyone, and like he scares people away from him. And each form feels really different, and there are like you can go up. There's two trees. You can go up to the left and to the right, and like I went up the left right away because I was like, I don't care about these on the right. But then I ended up playing them, and I'm like, oh man, these are actually really fun. Everything is really fun in the game, which is awesome. So and then later on, you get to mix and match your forms basically. So each form has one or two special abilities that you can like transfer to other forms. Your basic attack is how you generate mana. So the haunt that's how it gets the mana up, and then every other ability basically uses the mana. Then you have passives that also you can add to your basically stats. So everything's just constantly like in a giant feedback loop. And later on, you get like skills that you're supposed to like requests that you're supposed to figure it out. Like they're like, okay, as the ghost, go use the ranger's ability, this ability from the ranger, and then you use it, and it's like, oh, that's because it actually like syncs together, and it shows you how everything is supposed to work together, type of thing.
Oh.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
very crazy.
I really enjoyed this game. What didn't I like?
It's always hard when you really enjoy a game to isolate what you didn't like about
I'm really
it.
early in this game still. One of the things I really do like is that every form has their own quests. So you have like your regular quests that you have to do for the story, but then every time you switch to a different form, it has form specific quests. So it's like use this ability this many times. And so it teaches you really well how to use each form.
Yeah, and each form levels up separately. So that's how you also unlock new forms, is by leveling up the previous form, which is really cool.
Nice.
But that bought me time to think of what I didn't like. What I don't like is that a lot of these, like the temples or these areas, kind of feel very... It's just going through basically dungeon and killing stuff. There's not a lot of variety in the temples, essentially, or the dungeons. But it's not a bad thing. Like, it might sound bad, but it's like Diablo. Like, when you're playing Diablo, you don't hate, like, oh, well, now I have to go into this next zone and kill all these enemies. It's
Right.
kind of
It's fun to. It's actually fun to kill the enemies. So it's like
yeah.
you don't
And then
hate
you're
it.
constantly, like switching forms. Like in this one right now, like you'll notice that some of them have that purple moon above their heads or the green sword. It's basically like you have to hit them with that ability, that type of ability, before they can take damage from anything else.
Oh, okay, cool.
Break
so
their
like
shield, yeah.
breaking the shield with that element.
Yeah, and there's 4 elements. There's
like-
slashing, blunt, dark,
Destiny.
Yeah.
Blunts.
and light. Yeah,
That's
2
mine.
physical, 2 magic.
Cool.
So, but yeah, that's what I didn't like. The story, honestly, it was kind of like in the background for me. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. It's not like horrible, not the greatest story, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't super engaged by the story. I was more engaged by like the gameplay and how fun the game was. And
Sure.
how
That's good.
Well, and also just like Guacamelee, it's pretty funny. It's like it's written really light. It's got like a light feel to it, and like a lot of jokes.
Yes, it definitely
Cool.
has a lot of jokes, and it's
Like
Well,
Paper
I-
Mario.
I love Paper Mario.
I
Paper
played
jokes.
this game. I beat this game in about 13 hours total.
That's solid.
I got every form. I almost maxed out every form. I got all of the hidden, like there's mana fairies basically, and that's how you increase your max mana. I collected all those, so I basically did almost everything you can possibly do in this game, and I loved it. And when I went back today and I captured this footage, I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. Maybe I should play this some more. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're switching to a bunch of forms right now that are really cool. There's like that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool forms, and they do a lot of really fun things like the skills and stuff. And when you start engaging with them and stuff, it's really cool. So yeah, I touched on gameplay. I loved it.
Mhm.
The art, as you can see, I really like the art in the game. It's,
Me too.
So you can switch forms on the fly using a hotkey. That's important.
Yeah, the shoulder will brings up a
Okay.
wheel.
Can you hold all of them, or do you put your favorites on there?
I think you have to put your favorite. There's only 8 slots, I think.
That's fun though. You probably only want like that many at a time.
Yeah, you don't need all of them at once.
I don't know if you can actually select which ones go on that. It's just a matter of going in and hitting whatever last one, and it constantly just updates based on whatever you had last.
Right,
Oh,
and you
cooler,
can pause
actually.
and switch it too.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So like, especially if you're like, oh crap, there's a ton of enemies. I need to pause and think about what I'm doing anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
That's dope.
The sound and the music, it was really fun. It didn't detract from the game, as some do. But I wouldn't say it was super noticeable in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
That's not always a bad thing.
no, it's not. It doesn't take back from the game at all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like they talk about that more and more lately. It's like if the music is or music and sound effects are uninvasive, it's a giant positive.
Yeah.
It can be,
Yep.
yeah.
It depends on the
Yeah.
game. Really depends.
I-
Yeah,
well,
if you're
Mario,
playing an
you want
RPG,
bombastic.
if you're playing an RPG, you have to have a good soundtrack, or because you're going to be
Yeah.
listening to it for 30 hours.
Yeah.
So like,
But at the same time, you don't want it to get stuck in your head.
Some you do. I don't know. I could get some Final Fantasy
Yeah.
songs stuck in my head.
I
you
will
know?
have Nobuo Uematsu
Zelda,
or
come
Yoshinori. What's his name?
Koji Kondo.
Yeah, Koji Kondo, David
He's
Wise. Like those
David
are.
Wise.
That's all
injected
stuff
into my
that's like
veins. Yeah.
that I'm happy to have stuck in my head.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, okay, that's what I mean. Like you don't
Yeah, like-
you don't want to get irritatedly stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
sure.
Okay. Yeah.
True. Nintendo gets away with a lot of that shit, actually. Now I'm thinking about like horn honking and like boink, crazy exploding things and like
Yeah,
wild shit that doesn't annoy you somehow.
that's true.
Really off the wall, like circus shit.
Yeah, I mean, even like Mario 1 has like your jump sound is like burning over and over, and like it's not annoying. It's
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all awesome.
Yeah, no, the sound is it's okay. Like I like
It's not bad.
so.
I like this turtle form.
Yeah, the turtle's actually really fun. If you see me, I'll go into the menus from here because I'm kind of like trying to cut down a lot of the quests. So like
He's like Squirtle in Smash Bros.
I
Damn.
maxed out that quest, leveled up the form. So I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm gonna check out the other unique quests for this and try to figure out what I'm trying to do. Because that's what I'm doing here now.
Yeah, and I do like also that like you can go and pause and look at your quest, but also you don't have to go to the menu. You can just hit the left bumper, like you see right there, and it slides them out in a pane, and so you can just read them there. So you don't have to like stop what you're doing to check your quest.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, because there's a lot of chaos going on.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
Yeah.
This dungeon was actually really hard the first time I went through it, but so I'm maxed out. I've already beaten the game, so it looks kind of easy for me. But I'm constantly leveling up here, still, even being maxed out, and with these everything being so low level compared to what I am.
It's really cool. Just keep going.
And so let's see. The game difficult. I died a couple times. It wasn't like super difficult, but it wasn't super easy. It had a couple unique challenges, but it forces you to think things through.
I believe it has multiple difficulties also.
Oh.
There is a new game plus also. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's really cool, and it keeps. When I started up New Game Plus and just booted it up just to see what it was, and you keep everything you collected, you keep all the forms, you're at the quests that you're currently at, and stuff like that. It's just a matter of going through the dungeons again, which is kind of cool.
That's pretty dope.
I would definitely play a sequel. This was really fun, just long enough that. Like right at the end is when I started, I guess, being like, okay, I guess I'm done with this world. But like I said, I booted it up today and put 30 minutes in, easily trying to get this footage, and I was like, man, this is really fun. Overall impression, I'd probably say 8.89, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Dang, that's high.
Strong, huge.
That's right up there with.
And for
That's right
Chamale, who slits throats.
So
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
curious.
Charlie doesn't like kids.
I watched another review, and I'm curious what your feelings were about this. Someone, it was a Skill Ups review, said that it was kind of slow at the beginning and the end. Did you get that impression?
At the beginning, it was definitely slow. At the end, it kind of got a little grindy.
Okay.
So I guess it definitely slowed down. Like the middle is definitely the high point when you're constantly getting these forms and stuff. But like at the end, I kind of like was going through a couple dungeons. And I was like, okay, let's finish this off, type of thing. But it wasn't. It wasn't super. I wouldn't use it against it. Basically, I wouldn't say, oh my god, this game's horrible because of that. Because you're talking. It's a 10-hour game, so at the beginning you're talking an hour of pain, and at the end maybe the last hour is slow too.
Okay.
It's not that bad in a game like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, 8.89, that's a great score. It's
That is a
powerful.
really good score, yeah.
8.89.
Right
I think he
on.
meant 8 or 9, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll do 8.89. I like it.
I like it.
8.89. Fuck
So
it.
specific. You went to two decimal places.
I
Yeah.
like it. All right, let's switch on back and continue our discussion on the generations of gaming.